Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Thought I was done with my Christmas cards, and then I saw something similar to this online, and I just really wanted to make it, especially with the Crafter's Companion Christmas Rose collection that I got not too long ago. I thought it would be perfect for this, and it's a 5x7 card. It's just flat, but it opens rather than having a side fold. I mean, it is a side fold, but it opens like that, so it gives you a little bit of extra detail. And I thought it was really pretty, so let me show you how it's made. You start with two pieces of 5x7 card, just 5x7. This one's score 1 2 inches in. You can score it before or after, but you want to score it, one of them, at 2 inches. And then we're going to get our plates out, because I'm going to take an edgeable die, and this is one of the Crafter's Companion stacked edgeables, and I'm going to cut both pieces of card with this edgeable on both ends. So you just want to kind of line it up as straight as you can get it. And we're going to do the same thing on the other end. So, and see, it will actually cut through both pieces of card, so that's nice. And I'm just going to hold it down, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And that gives us our shaped card base. Okay. So now we're going to, don't worry about this because my plates were a little bit dirty, but I'm not worried about it because I'm going to mat and layer on top of it anyway. But that gives you your shaped card base. You're going to glue these two pieces together, and that gives you your card base. But before I do that, I want to do the mats and layers. And I did it in two different pieces. So it's this is a 5x5 inch piece, and this one's a 5x2. And then I've got the patterned paper, and I've got some plain paper to do the matting on the bottom. So we're going to start with that. And we're going to take this is a 5x5 mat. Now, normally I would cut that mat layer smaller, but because I don't have it exactly, I don't know exactly where it's going to go that I'm going to get it in the right place. So it's easier to do, at least for me, as a 5x5. And we're going to cut it the same way that we did the other. And I'm just going to do my best to get it straight and evenly lined up. But because I've cut it a little bit big, if I don't get it exactly right, it doesn't matter, I can fix it. And then I'm going to do the same thing with so this piece was 5x5. I'm going to do the same thing with the 5x2. And then with the patterned cardstock that's also 5x5 and 5x2, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And then I'll show you how I make sure that I get it right in terms of the mats and layers. Now for the top layer, for the patterned layer, I'm actually going to use a different layer. See these stacked together? That's what I meant by it's a stacked edgeable. And I'm going to use the one with the little decorative holes in it just for a little bit of something different. You don't have to. You can use exactly the same one, but I'm just going to use this one for something a little bit different. And again, this piece is also 5x5. Okay, now I'll show you what I did to get these exactly right. So you take your white piece of card, so your top card. This is the one with the score at 2 inches, and you're going to line up your mat layer exactly where you want it. Okay. And I did that one pretty good. And then what I did is I just kind of looked at it, and this one I actually got really close. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit on these 3 sides, and it should fit in there perfect. Yep, and see, that's perfect. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. I'm going to put it on, get it lined up where I want it on that edge, and you can see that I got it a little bit crooked. So what I did is I just got it lined up there, Get it all lined up where you want it. And then I flipped it over and I just took a pencil and drew the edge on those two edges. This one I know I just have to take a little sliver off. This one I have to come in and cut just inside that pencil line. And now, and this is from the Christmas Rose, Crafter's Companion Christmas Rose paper pad, and then the linen paper is also, the green is also from them. And see, it looks good on that side, and on that side I need to take just a hair more on this side and that. So we'll do that. And I find it easier to do this than to try and measure it exactly, and because I never get it right. And see, now I can get it almost perfect. So there's that one. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other, with the 2-inch side. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to glue this all up. I'm going to glue matte and layers, and then I'm going to glue, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, now that I've got my mats and layers put on there, I'm going to make my card base. So I'm going to take just that 2-inch section, put some glue here, and then we're going to line it up, and you want to make sure that it gets 100% lined up. It should be exactly the same because you cut it together. And you just get those pieces put on there. And there's your card. And now it's just about decorating. On this one, I used a old Crafter's Companion die that I had. It's I think it's from Sparkling Snowflake or something, to make this little ornament. And on this one, I found a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it's similar. It's got the little die thing and then a couple of different pieces. And I used the outer circle to create some vellum because I didn't like that I liked the color of the kind of white shimmery Centura Pearl card, but I didn't think it stood out enough. So I did a drop shadow in the green, and then I did a vellum layer to go behind because I think that'll help it stand out. See how much more this stands out than that with the green drop shadow and then the vellum to kind of mute that background. So I did it like that. So this card, I cut the center piece in 3 times. I cut it in white cardstock and then in green so that it's got some depth to it. And then I layered over the Centura Pearl on top to give it just a little bit of a dark drop shadow. And then I'm going to put this on top of that on here. And then I've got also a drop shadow with the little top. Okay. So we're going to do that. And I don't care too much about seeing the glue on here because it's mostly going to get covered up anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. Now for our center circle, this came out of the Christmas Rose topper pad. And I just took my circle nesting dies and I'm going to cut a piece out of it. I'm just going to pick where I want. And then I cut a circle in the green, and I'm just going to layer that on top of there. And then I'm going to put this just kind of off center so you can see that inside ring, but straight, just like that. And then for decoration over here, I took the tree dies from the Christmas Rose collection. I cut them in the white Centura Pearl, but again, I didn't think that stood out very much, so I also cut them in green. And I'm going to kind of layer them a little bit so that we get a little bit of the green underneath the white. You know, sort of like that. So you just get a little bit of depth to it, so that a little bit of drop shadow, it'll make them stand out a lot more. So I'll glue these on, and then I'll be right back with you and we'll put on a ribbon, and we'll be in a sentiment, and we'll be just about done. Okay, and the last thing is to add a little ribbon. I'm just going to make kind of a little double bow. This is a bow maker that my husband made me. It's easier for me to do it this way than to tie it on my fingers. And it makes a nice pretty bow. Just gonna put a little ribbon tie right at the top of the ornament hanger. And we're done. Isn't that pretty? I do like it better. So here's the two different ones. I do like it better with the green drop shadow. I think that helps them stand out so much better. So I think if I were to do this again, I would definitely, I like that die, but I would definitely use a drop shadow on it like I did on this one. You can really, this stands out so much better than without it. So there's my Christmas cards. I saw this something similar, and I was looking at the Christmas rose stuff, putting it away actually for after Christmas, and I thought this would be perfect for that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you like that.